Hey everyone, Adrian here over at the Sampleist. Today we're going to take a look at a brand offering from 10 Phantom Rooms in conjunction with Native Instruments. This one's called Low End Modular. This library captures the sound of premium vintage and modern modular systems pushed to the brink of their lowest pitches. You can morph between 4 instrument layers, giving endless possibilities for your sound palette. We have deep drones, pulsing pads, seismic basses and special effects created from 200 different sound sources. There are 163 snapshots for you to explore, created from hundreds of sound sources covering East Coast, West Coast and Euro rack modules, and so much more. You can also roll the dice to get interesting combinations of sounds. It sounds interesting, this one, and we'll come to those dice rolling bits a bit later on in this video. There's a full randomization patch creator built into this library. Low End Modular is available now from Native Instruments, priced at £69 for a limited period. You get 163 snapshots, each with 3 variations, all wrapped up in 7.8GB, requiring either the free Contact player or the full version of Contact 7.6 or higher. So let's listen to some of the sounds from this library. Okay, so that's some of the sounds from this library. Let's have a quick look at the interface and what we can do to shape our sound and create our own patches. So Low End Modular, there is this big graphic in the middle that you see all the scrolling and the movement on. Now, if you're like me, you're susceptible to motion in the sense of motion sickness and stuff, so that can be really off-putting. Thankfully, you can turn it off if you so wish by just clicking this little button in the bottom right hand corner. Then it'll just freeze it where it's up to. So let's get it, there we go, that's better. And it doesn't look very distorted. So that's a good thing, you can actually turn that graphic off if you so wish. We then have, let's start on the right hand side here with abilities to do sort of cuts and boosts to the EQ side of things. So we can do a cut to the low mid, or we can cut or boost the subs of the patch. So at the moment we're on a sort of more of a lead sound. It's probably my favourite sound in the sort of lead section, this. So we can cut the mids. See the subtle difference there. Now, it might not come across very well over on ye old YouTube, this, but you can cut and boost subs. So if I play down the bottom end, so there's a slight boost to the subs there. Across the top here, we have the sources that you can play with. You've got 4 channels, and we have the ability to choose the source by just going to these bits here. So you can Euro rack, noise, others, subs. There's hundreds of them, these song sources, and you can, instead of having to go back there and click on channel 1, channel 2, etc., you can do the selection within the window, which is really cool. This is a nice feature, and I do like it when companies put this in. And it's the randomized dice bit that we mentioned in the introduction here, where you can randomize the source. So what's it boosted on? Asymmetrics. Let's get rid of the asymmetrics. So we've just basically gone to a completely different sound type there. We then have our little mod wheel slider on the left here, and if I just move mod wheel, it moves between the macros of A, B and C. So these are variations A, B and C. So although you've got all these sounds here, you have 3 variations within each sound, as we demonstrated in the patch walkthrough. So what happens here is if I move this up, you see the volume levels move there. Now if I notice this guitar module isn't getting used at all. Now if I want to bring that in, I can say, right, I want it to come in on layer C. So if I move that all the way up, and now I click the save button, look what happens now. You see, so I can save my variation. Now you saw what I was doing with the mod wheel, in the sense of I can go up and down the side, and as we move, you see whatever I save to these variations, it will step through as a slide the mod wheel. Now this is a nice feature that I do like, is this little sort of toaster icon here. You click on it, is it burger menu? That's I kind of think of the word then. If you click on that, because if you think it's a burger's in the middle and your 2 layers of your sandwich on the top, you get this mod wheel setting, and you can assign your mod wheel to control not just the ABC morph, but you can get it to control, let's see, let's do something that is really going to stand out. Let's go for drift. So you can change your source to drift. See how that drift moves now? And then you can have more than one. But you can't have more everything. So you can't have the morph as well as these filters, but so you can just assign it to the effects if you want, or just to the variations. And then underneath you've got quick access to turning on and off your filters, etc. down here, so you can move them with your mouse as well. So you click and hold and it moves your filter. So that's the main page. So you get a lot of bang for your buck just on the main page. So over to the mixer section, and we have the ability to change your sources again from the top here. And if I just go back to mixer, we can pan your sources. We can add reverb to each individual layer and delay to each individual layer, or some dirt. It doesn't matter. You can, well, dirt's already on Golden FM. Let's put some dirt on the gold guitar module, whack up the reverb and see what happens. Just make sure we've got... it's because I forgot to change it back. There we go. So straight away we can move your... That's a bit of a problem. Let's move that. There we go. So you need to click on that again just to get rid of the burger menu. So straight away we can basically change our sound a bit more. And then we've got per layer... sorry, not per layer. We've got in the effects here, we've got your space and your echo. But in the effects section, you can change the space and the echo and the dirt as well. So let's take we'll go for Screamer. So now I've gone into here and turned it on for channel 1. It turns it on in here as well. So if I go back to effects and say, right, channel 4, I don't want any dirt on, and I'll go back to channels, you'll see it's turned the dirt off. So that's sort of handy way. So in there we've got your reverb, your echo, and your dirt of your screamer lo-fi type saturation. I won't go through the controls here because they're pretty much self-explanatory as to what they will do in the normal effects world. So that's your mixer section. Now over on the edit page, we have the ability to also, if you see here, channel 1, 2, 3 and 4, is adjust the, sort of like shape the source a little bit more. So if I just whiz back to the main a second, and I'm going to turn Dark Saw down, Aptos, and make sure the guitar module is down, make sure my mod wheel's back, so we get this sound. Now I'll go back to edit now, so we can actually see what's happening here. So what I'm going to do is I can change the pitch of this. I can pitch it down. Should be able to turn the pitch because I'm on the wrong channel. I thought, why is it not working? There we go, channel 2. So I can turn the pitch up and down 12 semitones. I can randomize the sample start time. So that's no randomization, and this is full randomization. So there's subtle difference each time you strike the key. You can change the velocity to cutoff, so the harder you hit the key, the more you're going to get the cutoff. And velocity to volume. So, sorry for the whacking the keys there, but it just gives you an idea of what happens when you do the velocity to volume. We can change the filter type, so we have 5 different types of filter: 2 low passes, 2 high passes, and a vowel. So I'll give you like a talk box type effect. So that's a 4-pole low pass. and you can change the resonance. And then you've got the filter envelope amount, so how much of this filter section here will change. So just change that, there we go, just moving this and put some sustain on. So we've changed the sound dramatically now, because that's just the one layer. Then we've also got your volume envelope, so we can make it more into a pad. So you can do this on a per layer basis. So there's quite a lot of sound design potential there. We then have the animate section where we've got 4 different destinations that we can send these like gating effects to. So you've got a few already programmed in here. So we'll go for the advanced gating. You can change the number of steps in this and the speed of it. So we'll stick at 16th notes here. And you can change your destination. Now I'm going to say I want the cutoff on layer 2 because that's all we've got sort of on at the moment is layer 2. And I'm going to change the intensity and listen to what happens to the sound. So I'll turn it up to the 100%. So you can do some interesting effects to the sound. So I'll leave that there. If I say I want volume 2 as well, so it affects the volume, and then we can say, what else we can do? I'll say, well, so if I bring on layer 3 as well, so that's Aptos, and I bring the volume up. So we can do different things to shape your sound. Then we have the LFO section, which controls the speed and the intensity, and you can have it go to, this is the drift LFO, can go to different destinations. So all 4 channels, they can change the type of LFO. So we can have source, square, random, triangle, retrigger mode, sync to host tempo, and then also send it to a destination. So we could, well, we've already got it on cutoff 2, so let's send it to pan 2 instead, so it'll pan the sound around. Probably if I turned Aptos off. There we go. Now it's panning from speaker to speaker. So there's quite a lot here to actually shape your sound. Now that we've listened to some of the sounds, had a tour of the interface and got under the hood of this instrument, let's listen to it in a musical context. And before I press play on this, just to sort of like clarify, I bounced this down to audio from the MIDI just to help out with the recording process so as not to strain the CPU too much and to eliminate any pops and clicks that might actually happen from, you know, loading the processor as I'm recording. And there's absolutely no external effects put on. What you actually hear from this composition are sounds from this library. There's been absolutely no external processing. So let's take a listen to what it sounds like. So a short sketch there of a bit of electronica using just the sounds from this library. Now this sort of track was instigated by the amped dust, like a pad sound here. So that sort of like sets the sort of like scene for the track. We then end up with a couple of lead sounds here, broken Rezo lead and keys of 1973, and all I did was just pan these slightly to the left and to the right, as you can see here, and we get this. But then Low End Modular wouldn't be Low End Modular without introducing something sort of really deep and sort of growly, and we got that with Heating Tapes. So you can hear how the sound spectrum there is starting to fill up a bit. And I wanted some rhythmic texture going on, and gamma rays sort of provided that. And I do have to say, gamma, I haven't spelled it into correctly. That's how it's spelt in the library, just with one M rather than double M. And we get this sort of like glitchy sound. What would a track be without, well, from myself, without some sequences going on? So I used asymmetric pluck to get this sequence. And then I combined it with just another one using the patch clipping shapes. And all I did was set this for, instead of a sequence, more of a normal, typical arpeggiated sound that you're used to hearing. Now when I couple those two together, we get this interesting sound. And then when we add the whole thing together, we end up with this little bit of electronica. And for the intro and outro, I use these effects from the library called Computer Welt and Ancient Language, and that just sort of adds the instant atmosphere and vibe that we're aiming for. And then Ancient Language sounds like this, and all I've done is just pan these again left and right just to widen the sound field. And then we couple those together. So there we go, a little bit of electronica using just the sounds from this library. Low End Modular. This library captures the essence of modular synthesis, cooks them over an open fire and then spits them out into a really deep, engaging library. These sounds are very much all the rage in current cinematic offerings and will sit very nicely in your next project if you're looking to fill out that low end with something sort of like a bit interesting and different. These sounds have been captured at 96 kHz for pristine quality, and being able to choose the destination for your model wheel without having to go through MIDI mapping is a really nice feature. It allows you to control multiple destinations with just a simple click of the mouse or prod of your touchpad. The sound starts off very simple, but as you move towards Variation C, they become a lot more complex and visceral. This allows you to easily move your musical creation through different stages of intensity without having to call up different instances of the same sound. As you probably can gather from just watching and listening to this video, I've really enjoyed my time with this library, and I will certainly be adding sounds from this particular sample set to my upcoming compositions. And we would like to thank Native Instruments for sending Low End Modular for a review. It is really very much appreciated. And if you would like to keep us up to date with all the new releases in the music software and sample world, subscribe to this channel, and until next time, stay creative, stay sonic, and keep on creating.